Good afternoon and welcome. My name is Christy Bardenhagen. I am the Vice President of the League of Women Voters of Leelanau County. The League of Women Voters is a nonpartisan political organization that encourages informed and active participation in government, works to increase understanding of major public policy issues, and influences public policy through education and advocacy. We never ever support or oppose candidates or parties. Men and women who are 16 years of age and American citizens may join the League. The Leelanau League currently has nearly 170 members, of which 35% are men. More information on the League may be found at our website, which is lwvleelanau.org. Dues are $60 a year or $90 for a family membership. Membership applications can be found online at our website and also on the table out in the hallway. Today we host a forum entitled Local Consequences of Worker Shortages in Leelanau County, sponsored by our Farm Labor Task Force. Our speakers are Bob Sutherland from Cherry Republic, Skip Telgard from the Bluebird Restaurant in Leland, and filling in for Sam Simpson will be Jim Bardenhagen on the Leelanau Peninsula Economic Foundation. Each will discuss the challenges and solutions to a scarcity of labor in Leelanau County. A question and answer period will follow. So now I would like to start with Bob Sutherland.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'll do my best to not eat my sandwich while I'm talking. Good afternoon, everyone. I'll do my best to not eat my sandwich for the next 15 minutes. And Skip and I were just mentioning that it's really reassuring to see this many people here that care about this issue. You know, finding and building a workforce in Leelanau County is a big issue, and it's going to take all of our help, to correct it. I will speak a little bit about the challenges of Cherry Republic. We, in the past year, this summer we were probably short about 12 employees, and they were cooks, bakers, a little bit of retail need that was left open, and assembly workers in our factory. And 12 out of the maybe 150 to 200 employees meant that we could survive it. We weren't closing a restaurant down for one night as, some businesses, restaurants end up doing. We were keeping our hours always open. We kept our hours the same. But it really meant that, over in our factory, our accountant would take one day a week and go in and pack cherries, or our graphic designer would have to step away from working. And I myself would have to go in there, and make cherry pies, which I love to do. But there are other important things at Cherry Republic that, have to get done too. So we were able to divert employees, to get this done. It isn't the best use of our talents, but it got us through this year. We don't want that to happen again, and we've had a big advertising and PR campaign coming into this Christmas season where we truly realized that we needed 200 employees to hire to get us through this Christmas season. And, that's probably 50,000 orders that, we will process and ship out, Christmas orders. We send out about 600,000 or more catalogs during this season. and orders come from all over the country and world, and we get to play Santa Claus and Santa's elves. And if you are interested, we would love for you to come tomorrow to our Empire facility between 2 o'clock and 4 o'clock and join what is a terrific community event of playing Santa's elves, packing gift boxes, and shipping them out. And I can go on about the issues, but I think I'll start talking about those solutions. Now, for us, one solution, if I look in this room, is has really been a help to us, is retirees. And we end up hiring a lot of retirees through the summer and through this Christmas season. And the way it has worked for us is if we can make it very flexible, make it meaningful and fun, that it usually are some of those were people that have retired and came up here, maybe at 65 they thought they'd work for a couple of years, but now some of those retirees are working for us, and they are 87 years old and 79 years old, and they fit right in. It is terrific to have this difference in age between our retirees and our young people. It truly is now deeply in our culture. We work harder to bring our employees in at Christmas time. We need about 350 total. Cherry Republic, a little background, is we probably have about 85 full-time equivalents, year-round, and with an overall payroll of about $3.5 million. That number, I'm really proud of that. But I think more than any number that Cherry Republic has, nothing makes me more proud of that $3.5 million that we give to our staff, that goes right into our community, that builds community, puts students in our schools, and that $350,000 too converts into about $500,000 in payroll taxes and FICA, and also another probably $500,000 too, in addition. So we're really about $4.5 million, which goes to employees' benefits. So another $500,000. The majority of those 85 equivalents, get full benefits. So we're helping with retirement and health insurance. We need a lot of them, but it's really for every $12 an hour employee that we have another employee that's making $45,000, a year. We're really proud of the careers that we have built and the amount of people that have chosen to work at Cherry Republic and have built a life, up here in Leelanau County. There's been challenges, for those people. I think, let's just back up. The key program for us to keep employees, for building our employee workforce, is probably the number one thing is keeping our present employees. Nothing more difficult than employees that are just moving from one job to another job. And when they come here, we put all that training into them. A lot of times we're helping them find a place to live. And once we've done all that work, we are going to do our best to give them the benefits, to create a meaningful job, to give them the training and the personal growth improvements. And so our employees, I've been here 29 years. I have one other employee that's been with me for that same amount of time. my mother, who is 87, and she still works. And beyond that, like our vice president has been with us 18 years, going on 19 years, Ronnie Hazelton. Two other my key employees, one partner has been with us 15 years, and so many employees that have been here a long time. We struggle bringing someone from out of the area here because of that difficulty of trying to match the culture, not only in our company but also the this rural Michigan lifestyle. A lot of people we've brought in, it's been more of a challenge. So it's really found that we've hired our own as the best. But the other challenge has been to find that person a home. And we'll bring in someone that we're paying $65,000 a year, and it's been that person that we just brought in, he ended up living in an RV over the summer, And here he is making $65,000 in a small RV with his wife and 2 big dogs. So the program in the summertime that has helped us quite a bit is trying to get every high school and college student that we can. And one way that we found is successful is for every dollar that they want to save for college per hour that they work, we'll contribute, we'll match it with $1 that first year. If they come back that second year, if they save $1 for every hour they work, we'll put in $1.50. If they come back that next year, if they save $1, we'll put in $2. If they come up the next year, it's $2.50 to $3 total. And we now have kids that are in the program that are really raking it in. We know it's great though. They're in college, and for on our side now, that employee, this sharp college kid that's been back 4 years or 5 years, they're running the place. So it's terrific for us too. We do work on finding housing. Last year we had a house, and I won't kind of mention this, but Skip right next door here had probably talking more about how the success you found on just individuals that have helped us offered a house an employee that we've that would like to work for us but couldn't find housing. The other key thing that we found for getting these high schoolers, and there is an obligation for every high schooler to work in the summer, okay? If you know any high schoolers that aren't working, make sure they do, because they're missing out on a very important learning experience. I know what it did for me as a child, and what I've seen it do for others. But we try to give them a very good learning experience, where we do some training and like a whole day of training. We do a lot of growth work, and then we do give them a lot of responsibility. We have hired the mentally impaired, where during the summer there was a group of mentally impaired that had a supervisor with them that helped us quite a bit. That program has been real helpful over the years for us. And at Christmas time too, for us to get extra help, we have worked with organizations, and if an organization brings in 10 people and they work a 8-hour day with us, and this will happen through the Christmas, we will pay that organization $1,000. And it's worked terrific with school groups. That's my 3-minute alarm. You said it would just be a sign, but now there's that. I'm teasing you. So so organizations, some of the key organizations that help us are sports teams at Glen Lake schools, and maybe I think a couple of Leland teams have come. And if there's 15, 20 kids, we'll give the you know, the sports team $1,000, you know, for coming on a Saturday. Those are some of the key ones that we've done in the past. This year, just because we were missing out on summer, even though we have all these programs, we were still short 12, that we are in the process of purchasing a house, a 5-bedroom house in Glen Arbor that's zoned agricultural. So we have some extra, use permits, you know, for that. And we will end up hiring some foreign students that'll come for the summer. And I think it may end up being a blend of Romanians and also a place where we can put some of the college students from afar that would like to come to Glen Arbor and swim when they're off and, you know, get on the boat, but also be here instead of in Detroit or Grand Rapids. So we'll have hopefully an additional 12 employees or more a part of that program where we're hiring through an agency foreign college kids that are on break as well as local ones. I think that's a good spot to stop. And now I will introduce Skip Telgard, which many of you know, a great guy. And I look forward to hearing what Skip has to say.
Thanks, Bob. That was good. Very nice. Thank you, Bob. Appreciate it. I want to thank the League of Women Voters for doing this. It's amazing how much interest there is in this subject. It's been talked about a lot, but it's clear that it's something we have to do going forward if our businesses are going to thrive. Just to give you a quick history and rundown on us and to set the table as to our problems or issues that we've been dealing with.
Can you mic closer to your mouth?
Sure. Is that better?
Yes.
Okay. The Bluebird in Leland, we've been celebrated our 90th year this year, so we've been around for a long time and a part of the Leland economy and scene. My wife and I have run it since 1996, so we've seen the ebbs and flows of businesses or a business in the county and how it works and the challenges. And of course, this staffing challenge has proven to be one of the more substantial challenges that we've had to deal with. It just simply getting harder and harder to fill out all your staff positions. In our case, we're not as big as Bob. Bob, I'm amazed at how big your company is. Fantastic. You're a very large company. We have about 20 people on staff in the wintertime. We run, of course, it's a much quieter time, and we have a smaller, shorter schedule, a 4-day schedule during the winter. But in the summer, we swell to about 70 or up to 80 people on staff to run a dining room, a tavern, and then the full kitchen and all. So it's a challenge going into April, saying we've got to hire 40 to 50 people, and soon. So of course, we're always doing preparation work building up to that, but it's a rather daunting task, and we interview as many people as we can. We've always used traditional methods, newspaper ads, obviously word of mouth is good, posting things on our marquee. Craigslist has been interesting, the web, the internet, Facebook has been actually quite good. But it just never was quite enough. And I would echo something Bob said too that I think is really key, is staff retention is absolutely critical to any business up here. You need to keep the staff you get. You've got a lot of money into training that staff and a lot of time and heartache and search, bringing those people in, number one. It's absolutely critical to take good care of people, make them feel important in your business because they're critical. And so I think that is just absolutely key. Our staff is generally made up of, we have a core group of long-term employees who have been with us anywhere from 5 to some 10, 20, up to 45 years. People who have been with us. So we value those people tremendously. even though Sandy retired a few years ago, everybody knows Sandy, right? And she was with us for almost 50 years, so what a wonderful asset she was to our business. But everybody's got to retire at some point. So anyway, that core is very key to both recruiting new employees and, of course, training and just operating your business. You need those people. Then the second group are the local kids from the high schools or maybe little older kids who are around, who come in for jobs. And we're very fortunate to get a lot of those people. And then you've got the college, once the college is let out, and resort families that come up for the summer, you get another little bit of a bump from that too, so that's really important. And one thing I have to say about the local kids in the area here, I think they get a bad rap sometimes. People say, gosh, what is it? The kids don't want to work? I don't believe that at all. And it may be true in some cases, but for the most part, what I'm seeing are kids that come in and they're very enthusiastic. It's really a positive experience for me. I don't look at any group saying, gosh, they're lazy or they're not motivated. I don't believe that for a minute. If you provide them something, good opportunity, they'll come in and we'll see what their work ethic is like. So one thing that we, going forward, or I guess looking back, 2015, 2016 were tough years for us hiring-wise. Business was very good, but we couldn't, that's when the labor crunch really started to tighten up. The labor force in our area seems to be rather finite in that it's this size. Well, there are so many more businesses now dipping into that labor pool, and that creates a shortage. Now, I do want to say that, is that a problem? No, we're victims of our own success. This area is booming. Business is fantastic. So many people come into our area to resort for the summer or coming up for the weekends. Business is fantastic. But the bad part in the middle of all that is we don't have enough help to take care of all those people and that really good news that we're getting. So as much as we're talking about problems here, we have a good problem too, is that business is really good and our area is booming. So anyway, back to what happened in 2015, 2016, we actually had to take some measures that I never wanted to do, which was scaling back the size of our operation. I literally had to close my outdoor patio, which had only been in existence for 5 years, and was doing really well, and I had to close it for 2 years in a row. And that was very disturbing to me. It was an important part of our business. People love sitting outside, and they were very disappointed. Customers were very disappointed. They had to come in and sit in the tavern, which in the summertime, gosh, I want to sit outdoors. And we ran into the same thing with our dining room. We were only able to open for dinner. We actually had to close that for lunch the second half of the season because we ran out of staff. And so that was very telling to me when I actually have to shrink my business from full size to down to 2/3 of its original size, because we need to accumulate revenues during the summer in order to stay open during the winter. We value the wintertime business very much. So if you don't generate enough revenues, then it potentially endangers your ability to stay open in the wintertime. So I kept seeing this, coming at me, and I began to talk to more people about the J-1 visa program, and Rick Wanroy at the Cove, he and I are friends, and we talk all the time. And he's been doing this for a long time, and at some point he pulled me aside and he said, Skip, you have to do this. Not maybe you need to do this. No, you have to do this. He loves the program. And so I looked into it much deeper. I had gotten solicitations through the years from agencies saying, yeah, we have employees and we'll send them to you, but I never had anywhere to house them. So last winter, I decided I needed to spend a lot of time trying to find housing for students from May to the middle of September. So I just did a lot of talking to people. I actually put an ad in the paper. I wasn't sure what that would yield, and actually it was quite good. I had a number of people step forward and said, yeah, I've got a little apartment, or I've got half of a duplex. Really, it's a full house that I'm willing to rent. It was intriguing to me that a number of people stepped up, and so I got more encouraged and started to actually get more resumes from the agencies that placed these J1 students, and started spending more time on it. Then I went on Facebook and had a long discussion there, and even more housing opportunities came up. So I could see there that there is a bit of a light at the end of the tunnel here, and there are solutions other than building an apartment building or going and buying a house. Who's got $500,000 to go build a big apartment building and to put a bunch of students up for 4 months? Not many people can do that. I think Bob's on the right track. Buying a house, locking something in like that is beautiful if you can do it. But this solution was more like utilizing rooms and beds that were already out there without having to actually build something. So at that point, I ratcheted up my interview process in earnest with a lot of these students, a lot of these J1 students. And this program really has been around since 1961. It's not new, but it's proven. I wish I had gotten on board a few years back, but I'm glad that I have a year under my belt with it now. So I spent a lot of time interviewing students through Skype, where you can actually talk to these kids from Serbia, from Turkey, from Russia, from Ukraine, or wherever they're from. And the main thing to me was language skills. I have enough stuff to teach students when they show up to wait table and do everything else. I don't want to have to teach them the language from the ground up, but some of them had a bit of a challenge. But for the most part, with the Skype process, you can get a handle on how well these kids can communicate, because they've got to come in and they've got about 2 or 3 weeks to train, and then they're off and running. So that was really important to me. I hired 17 students. At least I offered 17, and 17 accepted because it looked like I could house that many. Some of this housing was somewhat distant, and that presented a real challenge to me. I visioned myself as being kind of a taxi service running around. Well, as it turned out, the visa process tends to knock a few of them off to the side. Some of them don't get approved for their visas. So I ended up with 11 students who did get approved. Now, why they don't get approved, I don't know. They don't know either. Their paperwork might not be in order, who knows, but whatever. So it creates a bit of a moving target for me. I've got to say, gosh, if I need 15 people, how many do I have to offer jobs to? So again, this being my first year, I learned a lot, so we'll see how that goes. So the 11 kids showed up at various times over the period of a couple of weeks. We trained them right away, and the good news was we were able to open our patio all summer.